flaming sword which turned every direction to guard the way to the tree of life. So people would have known about that. If it was still there, they would have known about it. If it wasn't there, we know Noah knew about it. As God had commanded Noah. And it goes on down about the flood coming and everything. And then in which was the breath of life, that those that entered, male and female of all flesh, entered as God had commanded him. And here it says, started hailing, we got under the edge of the boat. And there were hailstones were coming down about the size of my, and when they hit, they hurt. So we stayed under the edge of the boat because, you know, the edge of the boat slants upward and we were safe. But the whole lake was blooping. I've never seen anything like it in my life. You know, when the rock goes straight down, the water goes straight up. And it was a magnificent sight to see. But let me tell you, back then, when those hailstones fell, it meant death. It ruined their crop. And then the eighth plague. The eighth plague is a plague of locusts. We've had locusts out here north of town. How many of you have ever seen those locusts? Yeah. Some of you have, yeah. They go through and just eat everything. It ruined the second crop. And then the ninth plague was a plague of in the Bible, and so one of the persons wrote about it, attributed to when the earth or the moon gets between the earth and the sun. Eclipse, thank you, an eclipse. But the longest dine with him and he with me. And so, you know, if you're not a Christian here today, the Lord is knocking at your heart's door right now. He's knocking at your door. He's knocking on your heart. And you've got to open that door. It's a door you have to go through if you want salvation. There's a lady in the Bible with an open door. Her name was Lydia. In Acts 16, 13 through 15, Acts chapter 16, 13 through 15. And here it says, and on the Sabbath day we went outside the gate to a riverside where we were supposing that go inside the holy place or the Holy of Holies. And today we're all priests of God, called a royal priesthood in 1 Peter chapter 2, called a royal priesthood. And we could go directly to God through Jesus Christ. And we could do that with confidence. It says in some translations, boldness. See? And so if you become a Christian, then you can go before the throne of God with confidence and boldness. The seventh door. It's an open door into the New Jerusalem. In fact, it has 12 doors. But anyway, in Revelation 21, 23 through 27, Revelation chapter 21, 23 through 27, says, and the city has no need of the sun or the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God has illumined it, and its lamp is the Lamb. The nations of them which are saved will walk by its light, and the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. In the daytime, for there will be no night there, its gates will never be closed. And they will bring the glory and the honor of nations into it. And nothing unclean, and no one who practices abominations and lying shall ever come into it, but only those whose names are written in the Lamb's book of life. And so those doors are always open, and they're open here this morning. I'd like to conclude with these few verses. In Revelation 20, 13 through 15, when Christ comes back, it says, and the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and Hades gave up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every one of them, according to their deeds. Then death and Hades were thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. And if anyone's name was not found written in the book of life, he was thrown into the lake of fire. That's one place I don't want to go. And I would not want to take the chance of leaving here today not being right with God. Revelation 21, 6 through 8. It says, He said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give to the one who thirsts from the spring of the water of life without cost. He who overcomes will inherit these things, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. But for the cowardly and unbelieving and abominable and murderers and immoral persons and sorcerers and adulterers and all liars,